sees the memes of production, and the like and subscribe button. In a recent press conference, Donald Trump blamed Ukraine for the war. He never said anything negative about Russia, and at one point he literally said Ukraine was stupid to start this war or something to that effect. So, you know, we know where he's getting his information from. Basically what you'd expect. The United States is looking to extort $500 billion in rare earth resources from Ukraine as payback to the money that we gave Ukraine for fighting the war, except we didn't give them anywhere near $500 billion, not even close. And we did so to basically no detriment to ourselves. Like, look at the tone of this. Think of it, a modestly successful comedian, Volodymyr Zelensky, talked the United States of America into spending $350 billion to go into a war that couldn't be won, that never had to start, but a war that he, without the US and Trump, will never be able to settle. The US has spent $200 billion more than Europe. It's not true. And Europe's money is guaranteed, while the US will get nothing back. This is also not true. It's just a lie. Why didn't sleepy Joe Biden demand equalization? In that this war is far more important to Europe than it is to us. We have a big, beautiful ocean as separation. On top of this, Zelensky admits that half the money we sent him is missing. By that, what he means is that the US never provided it to begin with. He refuses to have elections. That's pretty normal during, like, total war when a third of your country is occupied territory. He is very low in Ukrainian polls. He's about 50-50. And the only thing he was good at was playing Biden like a fiddle. A dictator without elections, Zelensky better move fast or he is not going to have a country left. In the meantime, we are successfully... I do like, by the way, the very, I'm going to say it, anti-Semitic trope played here of Zelensky being like a duplicitous lying rat who extorts America for its money through trickery when he didn't engage in any trickery. He literally just said in a very earnest, straightforward, and like open way, hey, we don't want to lose this war. It would be bad for the world if we lost this war. Could we have weapons, please? And then we gave him weapons. Like, he didn't, there wasn't really any conniving here. That just wasn't a part of the program. A dictator without elections, so he's calling Zelensky a dictator. Zelensky better move faster, he is not going to have a country left. In the meantime, we are successfully negotiating an end to the war with Russia, something all admit only Trump and the Trump administration can do. Biden never tried, Europe has failed to bring peace, Zelensky probably wants to keep the gravy train going. I love Ukraine, but Zelensky has done a terrible job, his country is shattered, and millions have unnecessarily died, and so it continues. So, yeah, he's like, obviously he was always going to be pro-Russia in a broader sense, but this is a level of antagonism towards Ukraine that's kind of like earth-shattering, not just to Ukraine, but also to our allies. Basically, every pro-Ukrainian person that I've seen on social media is basically feeling like they've been Night of Long Knived, you know? Like this is pretty much it for them, and that's true. Russia and America have initiated peace talks in Saudi Arabia and denied Ukraine the ability to be there. They just will not have Ukraine there. They don't think Ukraine should be able to have there. When Trump was asked, you know, why doesn't Ukraine have a seat at the table? Trump responded, well, they've had a seat at the table for the past 3 years. Now it's our time, or something like that. Pretty much a direct quote. And apparently, according to reports that we're getting from the peace talks that are currently ongoing, peace talks, by the way, it looks like Ukraine is getting nothing that it wants, and Russia is getting everything that it wants. What a surprise. Including a apparently very legitimate fear that, as a concession to Russia, the United States would withdraw its troops from NATO allies. Basically, like, abandoning all of Western Europe and Central Europe to, well, I can't say Russian invasion necessarily. Russian influence, Russian, you know, the sources build, which is not trustworthy at all. You can go find other articles talking about it. Right now, these are interim reports because they haven't discussed this publicly. When asked, Build his Inquirer tier. Okay, fine, I'll find another one. Jesus, you're gonna, okay? Right now, these are currently ongoing. So it's mostly like Ukrainian media or stuff more concerned with Eastern Europe that's talking about it. Is this fine? Will you be mad at me for this one? It's not the only place talking about it. I think Trump himself said his troops wouldn't leave Europe. Yeah, Trump says a lot of things. He said that during that press conference. He does like to say things. The demand by the Trump administration of Ukraine is higher than the reparations Germany paid after World War I. It's so fucked up. I doubt they'll ever get a chance to pay it. My egg prices, no! Before negotiations, have even started. Team Trump handed Vladimir Putin several of his core demands without securing a concession in return. The U.S. ruled out NATO membership for Ukraine, something that was never going to happen anyway, rejected the possibility of deploying U.S. peacekeeping forces, and acknowledged Russia's territorial gains as the baselines for negotiations. I love my hard-hitting, hard-dealing negotiator Trump immediately offering concessions before even reaching the negotiating table as the leader of the most powerful nation in the world. Thank you. Yeah, masterful diplomacy, excellent deal making. I mean, it is good deal making if you are pro-Russia. This deal doesn't even stand without Ukraine. They can say no. Well, sure, but then it would just be a matter of them like painfully losing the war without American support. I guess Europe could continue to support them, but that would further like provide a rift. So that's it then. The bad guys win. We don't do shit. Yeah. The US and Russia also reopened each other's embassies. Yeah, it basically seems like that, yeah. It seems like we've backstabbed Ukraine. We're going to extort them for an ungodly amount of money. Russia will hold the territory it has. They may or may not get a demilitarized zone. We are not going to support them any further, and we will promote Kremlin propaganda on the nature of the war, including saying that Russia wasn't the one that started the war. You know, moving forward, we will attack Zelensky when possible. You know, we will always speak of Russia at least neutrally, you know, not very affirmatively. Europe is ramping up support. Turkey has already come out equivocally backing Ukraine. It's going to surge aid. I really hope that these developments push people against voting for AfD, because Europe might actually be the like bastion of global resistance at this point. Depending on how things go, because they're so antagonistic to Trump and Trump is so antagonistic to them. AfD is pro-Russia, so yeah. Tulsi's already pushing Kremlin propaganda. This is from today. Is she doing this while leading the intelligence?
Here is something
like this
that
isn't
the
an old
political
video?
establishment and propaganda media don't want you to know. Ukraine's President Zelensky has just banned yet another political opposition party, one that questioned his legit.
Yeah, I want to know when this is from, because it would be pretty wild if a member of the presidential cabinet was posting like TikTok videos. I'm pretty sure this is old, yeah. Not sure the post is from today and says from today. Well, the post says it's from today, but that doesn't mean the video's new. I don't think the video's new. But yeah, she's a Russian agent. I mean, what do you want? What do you want? Oh, you want fascism to not win? Well, tough luck. Sorry. Europe preps huge defense package and boost to Ukraine. Never been seen. Do you have any idea how wild it would be if they actually did lock in on the promise to remove U.S. troops from our NATO allies in Western Europe? Oh, the most aggravating part is going to be lefties being like, wow, flanked from the left from Trump, as if like a capitulation to an expansionist fascist empire by removing troops from... I mean, what occupational harm was being done in keeping troops in France? Like, okay, do those people still exist? Well, most of them are just open about being Republicans now. But, you know, there are some, I imagine. Western Europe to fight Morocco? What on earth are you talking about? Zelensky cannot claim to represent the will of the people of Ukraine unless he restores freedom of the press and stops canceling elections. That's true. The only upside of this is that it might force a more unified military from Europe. Yeah, we'll have to see. Lithuania's president. Okay, Lithuania's president. Yeah, I mean, let's talk. Look, what I'm concerned about right now is Germany. That's what I'm concerned about, okay? Germany. I'm concerned about Germany. Largest and most powerful country in the EU. NATO second member. Has something of a functional economy. Die Linke at 9%. Yeah, but is Die Linke pulling from SPD or Greens, or are they pulling from the you know, CDU and AfD? It doesn't matter how Die Linke is doing. What matters is how AfD is doing. Die Linke got up to 7%, actually. Did you not just hear me? I don't care. What matters is the coalition. It does matter because it means the AfD is losing votes. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that at all. If people are moving from the SPD over to Die Linke, that doesn't affect the voter share of the AfD at all. It could mean that. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I live in Germany and I'm so scared. Yeah, well, join the party. We already lost our country, okay? AfD voters aren't becoming commies Lamau. Actually, you would be surprised. There is a lot of, like, horseshoe theoryism to people who vote for AfD. You know, basically just, like, militant accelerationists who believe first and foremost in radical change of the status quo. Reform UK is officially the most popular party in the UK now. I predicted this. Thankfully, you're not a part of the EU anymore, so, you know, your island can sing. Whatever. Yeah, we'll see how the peace negotiations go, but basically, yeah, basically just, like, complete concession to Russia on every front. On like, every level. Sorry, I have a loose eyelash. How annoying. It's all very 1800s chopping up countries. Yeah. Except we have widespread nuclear proliferation now. So we'll see how that goes, I suppose. EU passed more sanctions on Russia along with the defense bill. There's just no way any of this stuff plays out well for the AfD, right?